Pub battles, Austerlitz. This is how the game is going today. The question is, does Napoleon just have this smaller force, or does he really have all of that plus Bernadotte's First Corps, Murat's cavalry, and Napoleon himself with the Guard? Neither side knows until the coalition forces come within line of sight of one of these HQs. Then I roll a die. 1, 2, or 3, they're just decoys. 4, 5, or 6, they're real. If they're just decoys, then the coalition must decisively beat the French, or the French win. On the other hand, if they're really there, if that's all, Napoleon has all that, then he must win. The French must win decisively versus a coalition.
This random appearance of Napoleon is my own two-fisted solo version.
We will start by just placing the decoy HQs on the map. At this point, we don't know if they're real or not. Davout's Corps comes on turn 3 regardless. Kenmeier's Austrian Corps charges in to the French army at Punktowitz. Liechtenstein's 5th Corps storms between the gap in the French line. Probishev's 3rd Corps strikes Sokolnitz. Murat's cavalry come up the main road. Constantin's Guard drives hard in the center. Dokhtarov's Corps hits hard on the French right at Telnitz. Colleray's 4th Corps goes straight for the French line.
Sue's Corps opens with an assault on Griskowitz.
Bagration pulls back the advance guard. Napoleon and the rest of the French army begin approaching. Here we have Dokhtarov's assault on Telnitz. Lannes troops fall back. Trebuchev's assault on Sokolnitz. Lannes troops fall back. And then in the vineyard north of Sokolnitz, Lannes artillery drives them back. The assault on Kobelnitz is only held by a detachment and those French fall back. The drive on Punktowitz. Another mere detachment of French in the town. They're destroyed, but they fight stubbornly and make the coalition pay. The Guard. Just a light detachment. The cavalry runs them down. Soult manages a flank attack on the Guard at Griskowitz. The detachment is pushed out and the grenadiers fall back. It is now mid-morning. Kenmeier's cavalry surges forward, looking for the Frenchmen. Colleray's 4th Corps drives forward where resistance is least. Langren's Corps chases after the retreating Frenchmen. Trebuchev's Corps occupies Sokolnitz. The French army marches away from the Austrian cavalry.
We still don't know if the French army is even present.
Lannes pulls back on his right and surrounds Liechtenstein's cavalry. Dokhtárov occupies Telnitz. Bagration's advance corps continues to not advance. Soult's cavalry screens the rest of the French army from the approaching Austrian cavalry.
Soult's Corps advances forward.
And now, Lannes' encirclement of Liechtenstein's cavalry corps. All Lannes was able to put together at a moment's notice were his few hussars and even fewer regiments of infantry, all of which was easily defeated. It's now late morning and the fog holds steadily. Late morning begins with Murat's cavalry forming up south of the Olmütz road. Colruyt moves forward and orders his troops deeper into the French rear. Here they encounter Lannes' bags. The bags are still packed and they can easily be moved out of danger. The Russian guard charges the French line. They are stunned and fall back. The French guard begins moving around the Austrian line. Langren's troops press dangerously forward. Hohenlohe's cuirassiers, Liechtenstein's 5th Cavalry Corps, assault Wathier's hussars. In the rear, they are destroyed. The French cavalry is destroyed. He swings his hussars around on the right. Doktorov's artillery captures the high ground in the south. Lannes pulls what remains of his corps back. Where is Davout?
C'est moi.
Davout appears. The French player elects to reveal Napoleon's status. 4, 5, or 6, and the rest of his army is there. It's a 4. This means the French must win, or they lose. The French have most of their bags and least of their army here in the south. At this point, it suddenly becomes an easy victory for the coalition army. But it ain't over till it's over. Kenmire hears all the Frenchmen moving and falls back. Bernadotte advances. It's going on midday. The fog has finally burned off. And what a situation it reveals. Lannes and Davout are in desperate straits. The battle has taken an interesting turn. It looks like Lannes and Davout should just exit out of the battle, leave the battle, be counted as lost, rather than let their bags be captured. Liechtenstein's cuirassiers come charging over the hilltop, wiping out the French infantry. Liechtenstein's hussars start moving on the French bags. Langren's lead troops crash into the French. Murat's cavalry comes alive to save Lannes. Lannes pulls his remaining troops out of battle. Colruyt works to bring his corps together. Davout's corps leaves the battle. Soul's artillery opens up on Bagration's troops to great effect, and he too counterattacks the cream of the coalition line. Doktorov begins moving north. Bagration mounts an aggressive counterattack. Prevashev begins moving his corps north. Kenmire gives ground. Bernadotte begins moving forward. The Russian guard outmaneuvers the French attacks, falls back, and advances artillery to the hill east of Puntowitz. Realizing his troops in the south are lost, Napoleon reins in the guard. It's not time to commit them yet. Bagration's attack on Soul's corps here. The French are driven back, and his hussars charge into the flanks of the French. The infantry is surprised and ridden down. It's early afternoon, and Napoleon realizes he's in a tight spot. With the disappearance of Davout and Lannes, his army is near the breaking point. With his remaining corps, which are among his strongest corps, he could still win this. It's not over yet. The coalition army is feeling strong and confident. The time is running out. It is already late afternoon. Doktorov hurries his corps along. Kenmire consolidates the 1st Austrian Corps. Colruyt's 4th Corps begins moving north. Time is short. Napoleon confers with Bessières. The guard begins moving south. Soult pulls back the mighty 4th Corps. He can't afford any more losses. Liechtenstein's 5th Corps begins moving north. Langren's 2nd Corps combines and organizes. The advance guard prepares to advance. Murat's cavalry assists the guard. Russian guard charges the French infantry. French fall back, and the cavalry, after a vain attempt, falls back itself. It's early evening. The French have to cause a lot of casualties. This will go down as a major coalition victory. Napoleon doesn't do something fast. Langren forms up his line and holds. Kenmire forms up a line and holds. Marat's cavalry charges. They wipe out the front line of hussars and then run into Liechtenstein's cuirassiers. But the combat is indecisive. Cuirassiers charge Kenmire's hussars, driving them back. The Russian Guard hussars charge the cuirassiers in the flank, exhausted from their initial charge. Both noses were bloodied. Strick forms his line of defense. Bernadotte opens up on the Russian Guard. The Guard takes the blast and holds. Bernadotte sends in Kellerman's hussars to finish off the grenadiers. Backs them up with infantry. Liechtenstein recovers his cuirassiers and charges, but it is bloodily repulsed. Never think the French aren't tough. The advance guard continues to advance to the rear. Colerate's artillery fires on the French cuirassiers. Cuirassiers ride out of danger, and the French guard charges into the flank of the Russian Guard hussars. Meanwhile, the guard artillery races forward looking for anyone within range. Dokhtyrov places his cavalry on the heights and dares the French to come closer. In a dramatic dash, Soult races up and tells his dragoons to charge the Russian Life Guards. The Imperial Guard cavalry charge. The Russian hussars are destroyed. Soult's cavalry charge on the coalition Life Guard. The cavalry is blown. The Life Guard holds. Now Bernadotte's charge on the grenadiers. Grenadiers go down. And now there's one more chance, one more drive to break the army. Which army? Either army. But the French must break the Austrian army to win. Soult advances, but can reach no one. The French Imperial Guard charges in to the coalition line. The Russian guards were shocked, they fell back and ran right into Bernadotte's troops. They were eliminated. But the French Guard cuirassiers only succeeded in driving the Austrians into Puttowitz, and then they escaped to the other side of the town. Kohlraith reinforces his troops in the town, and the advance guard falls back. Liechtenstein's cavalry reinforces Langren's 2nd Corps. Bernadotte's troops push on. The Guard artillery fires on the flank of the French Imperial Guard. They fall back. Marat's cuirassiers charge the line. But it is inconclusive, and they fall back. As the skies turn from leaden to black, there is one last combat, and it is inconclusive. In the evening, it's clear. The coalition army has held together. It has performed admirably. The French have suffered terribly. Good game.